Hey guys, it's Jetpack. I have another video for you about the game covers from the HerInteractive series. I'm going to be talking about the iterations of each of the game covers, giving my thoughts. Does it entice? Does it excite? Does it convey what the game is about appropriately? And then know what, if anything, I would change. So Secrets Can Kill has 3 different cover art styles. One of which has 2 different sizes, the CD and then the DVD size. It's a symptom of a game company making games for over 25 years. The 1998 box was created with the release of the game in 1998. A couple years later came the 2000s reimagination, and finally a version that some people refer to as the Dreamcatcher version was released. During the first few years of HerInteractive's existence, they went through a few different ownership changes between American Laser Games and Dreamcatcher, which is part of the reason that Secrets Can Kill has so many different versions. The company hired a new designer when releasing Message in Haunted Mansion, who then went back and redesigned the first 2 game covers. The 1998 version features a entryway table at Aunt Eloise's house with a Tiffany-style lamp. There's also a huge Nancy Drew silhouette with a giant magnifying glass that could annihilate an ant the size of a shoe. Run Ned. There is a studious-looking white text with the title of the game and a text that reads a role-playing mystery game. I'm not sure that's true. Well, yes, we do assume the role of Nancy Drew in this game. RPGs usually have character building, skill building components to them. If by solving puzzles we got some sort of character point, which we could then use to build out Nancy, like maybe an interrogation skill, and then unlock conversation options in certain dialogues, I would consider it an RPG, but I'm getting off track here. Let's get back to the cover. It's outlined in this nostalgic marble teal that's very 2000s. The games were known for this color for a bit, and you still see it on the menu on a lot of the games. But other than that retrospective point, this one is underwhelming. The back cover gives us a little more, with scenes from the game and an enticing point that says, "Accept the ultimate challenge and solve the mystery if you dare." It's ominous, and I love it, but it's not enough. I understand Nancy Drew computer games are in their infancy at this point, so maybe the marketing budget wasn't big, and maybe they hired a newbie or did the design in-house. I mean, don't look at our early YouTube upload thumbnails. Everybody has to start somewhere. But I really think they could have done better. The tagline featured for girls who aren't afraid of a mouse, along with the solve it if you dare note, are bold. Much more bold than this cherry table and Tiffany lamp state. Nothing about this cover screams, solve the murder case before it's too late. It actually says, girls like furniture, don't they? For this box art, I would have done a background that's a little more exciting. This entryway is stunning. I want to live here, but it doesn't scream, this is where you're going to be investigating a murder. Maybe they were going for anywhere can be a crime scene kind of vibe, but it just doesn't give that. I'd swap it with that shot that's looking down the stairs with the body outline in chalk, because nothing says solve a murder like a chalk outline. The box from the 2000s is somehow worse but more endearing. She's essentially putting suspects under a microscope and shedding light on the situation. They've kept this iconic 2000s teal and introduced the recognizable Nancy Drew font and gold lettering. I kind of like this better than the last one. It's very Y2K and reminds me a lot of the glory days of video games. This cover really feels like they're starting to get into their stride because they found their font, they found their color, but these are all retrospect points. But also I'm looking at this cover with rose-colored glasses, because if I saw this cover as a kid, I would not think twice about it if it didn't have Nancy Drew plastered across the top. But nothing about this cover even whispers, solve a murder. I'd probably just scrap this one entirely. I know we can do better. And lastly, we have the cover art that is most recognized when people think about this game. Some people refer to it as the Dreamcatcher version because it's around the time HerInteractive and Dreamcatcher came together. We've kept the iconic 2000s teal and the Nancy Drew gold lettering, but we're adding some mystery to the cover of a mystery game. We've got an unknown person with absolutely wild eyes peering at us from behind some similarly colored books on a bookshelf. They're wearing a blazer or a trench coat and have hair that looks like goes to about their ears. So it could be anybody. This adds to the suspense. It could be a teacher, a student, a stranger. Then the books on the shelf show some wild titles. The Troubled Adolescence, the Criminal Justice System, downward spiral into madness, among other things. This kind of layering over the main image of the cover art is something they do up until the concept art for Secret of the Scarlet Hand. The front features text that reads, "Read between the lines as super sleuth Nancy Drew to expose a killer." The back cover gives us much more than the last two iterations of the cover art, including iconic lines like, "Expose the deception that death should have silenced." That's a metal lyric if I've ever heard one. "And a wily killer may still be on the loose, so keep your wits about you." Definitely more enticing. This is so much more suspenseful and high stakes than other iterations of this cover. At this point, they're advertising through the final scene on the back, so they've solidified that this is the format they're going to use. We peer into the eyes of who I assume is the culprit, and it gives us the vibe that this is a high-stakes case with the killer waiting and watching. As a player, we spend a decent amount of time in the library, looking through books, finding clues, so if you have the cover of this game on your desk and this stranger is peering at you while you're trying to solve it, it's a little unsettling. They've also swapped the RPG for 3D interactive game, which I think fits so much more. What I would change, I would definitely remove the offensive word on one of these books. But otherwise, it's great. I love the brick wall on the left here, which I think looks like it's from the high school. It's giving very noir detective vibes, which I think is very purposeful and emphasizes the reason they put a 1950s diner in this game. Maybe not, I don't know. I like this cover a lot. It fits the vibe of the game. It conveys a sense of danger and mystery that the other two do not. The person hiding in the books is genuinely scary without being inappropriate for the target audience. I love that everything is in this blue color palette. To me, it says the killer is here, watching, waiting, blending in with their surroundings. Try to find them before they find you. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this cover art. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Which one was your favorite? If you want to defend one of the earlier ones, please feel free to. If you like Nancy Drew, be sure to subscribe. If you like this video, leave it a like. We do other stuff other places, so make sure to follow us there. I'll see you next time.